What's up? What's up? You already know what it is. Behind the Scenes TV, Big Bro. I'm bringing you another episode of the top female narcos of all times. This is part 2. Sandra Avila Beltran. She ran around. She got the bag. She had multiple relationships with some of the top guys, as you will see in this episode. She was able to work her way to the top, able to make a lot of connections as she moved along, you know what I'm saying, with the cartels. Her story ends crazy. She got a crazy twist at the end. Make sure you watch the story to the end. The lady traffickers, they was something else. It was something else. Right before your eyes, you didn't even know that they was working the way they was working at this magnitude and doing it how they was doing it. So without further ado, Sandra Avila Beltran, part 2, top female narcos of all time, Behind the Scenes TV. You know how we give it up. So much more to come. Check this out. This episode is crazy. Let's go.
This is Sandra Avila Beltran. She led a life filled of crime and tumultuous relationships. And it all culminated with one huge move that brought her down. Sandra didn't really have a chance at a normal life. She was practically born into the Sinaloa cartel. Her mother's family were notorious heroin smugglers. Her father, Alfonso Avila Quintero, was the brother of the Guadalajara cartel leader, Rafael Carl Quintero. Sandra grew up in the 1960s, watching cold-blooded men do transactions and tough negotiations, and resort to violence whenever words weren't convincing enough. This was the language she knew from a very young age. By 13, she was her dad's official money counter, and at the same age, she witnessed a massive shootout. Sandra went on to study journalism at a prestigious university, but her colleagues remember her as a very withdrawn, always suspecting person. However, this was just her school persona. When she was 21, Sandra started dating Armando Carrillo Fuentes, the boss of the Juarez cartel. Around the same time, she became a prominent figure in the Sinaloa cartel, overseeing illegal substance shipments to the US. Her relationship with Fuentes didn't last a long time, but she would have many more. And her 2 marriages would be more tactical than romantic, but her husbands were ex-police commanders turned traffickers. These men knew the ins and outs of the Mexican police world, and their insights helped her dodge the law and become a huge figure when it came to substance smuggling. Ironically, both of her husbands were stabbed to death by hired assassins. Another one of her rumored lovers was El Chapo himself. No one knows just how romantic their relationship was, but one thing's for certain. They were once very close, and Sandra was head of public relations for the Sinaloa cartel. Then Sandra had yet another tumultuous affair. Juan Diego Espinoza Ramirez, also called the Tiger. The Tiger had strong connections to the Norte del Valle cartel in Colombia. This was just the open door she needed. Through Sandra, Colombian and Mexican cartels were now united, and she was making more money for Sinaloa than ever before. In 2001, the US seized a tuna fishing boat transporting 9 tons of white snow. Imagine how many more actually came into the country before the DEA finally caught on to them. After this incident, Sandra got her nickname, the Queen of the Pacific. She also got hundreds of officers on her tail, working hard to arrest her and bring down the Sinaloa cartel. She lived 6 years on the run and suffered the kidnapping of her son as a result of her violent means of negotiation. Finally, in 2007, she was arrested.
Tu nombre, por favor.
Sandra Avila Beltran.
¿De dónde es originaria?
Tijuana, Baja California.
When the officer asked her what business she was in, she said clothing. Even though she was convicted and sent to prison for life, she remained adamant that she shouldn't be there. Then she complained about insects in her cell and arranged for prime conditions, food, alcohol, and cigarettes to her liking. When she was denied restaurant-made food, she claimed her basic rights were being violated. In 2015, She was released and is now living in Guadalajara.